Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be talking about the difference between block level elements and inline level elements. But before going into that, I'd like us to understand that there are ways in which elements display. Elements have their own properties and behaviors, just like we have some elements here, list 1 to list 4, name to nationality, and a lot of elements we have on this HTML document. They all have a way they would display on the browser. They all have their special properties and behavior. Okay, so that brings us into understanding how they actually display. And we have two ways they display. We have the inline, and block. So let's talk about block level elements. Now, block level elements are elements that takes up the entire width available. They take up the entire line available on the screen. While inline level elements, they only take up the space that is required. Let's have an example. Let's say we use a paragraph in writing hello world. Now, once we open this up in browser, it's going to look ordinary, as if it's just there. There's nothing happening on it. But this hello world written there is written inside a block level element. Before we, okay, let's just open this up. Okay, I think I had it here. Now we have the hello world here. But this hello world is taking up the entire space on this row, such that I can't position anything close to this hello world. Whatever I'm going to write next will automatically go to the next line, because this hello world is taking the entire space available. And that is it about block level elements. Block level elements takes up the entire space available. So let me prove it. Let's add an attribute here of style, and let's give this a background color. Let's do purple. All right, so we can see that the background colors span across the screen. So I can't position any other thing close to hello world. I can't do that because that is it about block level element. They take up the entire space available, entire space on the screen. They take up the entire space on the row, just like we have here. Now, we have different types of block level elements. In fact, we have so many of them. A paragraph is an example. We also have a div. The div is also an example of a block level element. So if I wrap this text inside the div, nothing is going to change because it is also inside the block level elements. Now, H1 to H6 are also examples of block level elements. Now, if I use H1 to write this, the only thing that would change is just that the text would increase, making the shape look bigger or making the background color look bigger, but it is still the same thing. It is taking the entire space on the screen. Now, if I use maybe H6 or H5, it is still going to be the same thing, except that the text will be smaller. But if I use H5 here, it is still taking the entire space available. So I can't position anything close to hello world on the same line. Whatever I'm going to write and going to the next line. So that is it about block level elements. Now this hello world is displaying like that because I am using block level tags in writing there. Just like I explained, a div is a block level, and paragraph as well. We also have the nav. The nav is also a block level. If I use a nav, the shape would actually just, okay, it's still the same thing. And then we have footer, we have header, we have footer. They are all examples of block level elements. And we also have lists. The list we have here, the OL and the UL, they are also examples of block level elements. So let's say I give, let's give this a style, and let's give it a background color of maybe red. Now this list is going to span across the entire screen, just like we have it here. So, and this is also a block level element. That is why I cannot position this 2 close to this 1. That is why this 1 waits to the next line. Same with this 3 and this 4. So they are arranged vertically, and then it takes up the entire space available. So that is it about block level elements. The element that takes up the width available, they take up the entire square available. Okay, and let's talk about the second one, which is inline level elements. Inline level elements only take up the space that is required. They only take up the space they need. So I can have a text here written inside a span, and we have something like welcome to class. So by writing this inside a span, it is not going to take up the entire screen. It's only going to take up the space that it needs. So let's use blue here, and let's see how the space will display on our browser. So we can see what we have here. Welcome to class. It stops just exactly where the text stopped. So I can have another element positioned close to welcome to class. That is it about inline level elements. They can be arranged on a straight line or horizontally. So I can have other elements positioned close to welcome to class. I can have as many as I want. But for block level elements, I can't do that because they are taking up the entire space available here. Now we have other example of inline level elements. The anchor tag is an example of an inline level element. Let's quickly do an example. So let's say I have the anchor tag here, and I have my href. So let's say this is all, and the next one would be profile. And the next one should be, let's do contact. Sorry about that. Now, the anchor tags are examples of inline level elements. So these elements, the on profile and contact, they are going to be displayed line by line on the browser, just like we have it here. So you can see that I use a span, an inline level element, to write welcome to class. And I also use another inline level element, which is the anchor tags, to write the all profile and contact. You can see that I am able to position these elements beside welcome to class because they are both inline level elements. I can have another text here if I use an inline level element in writing it. Now, for these anchor tags to even display like this, it is because they are inline level elements. If I had used a list in writing them or any other block level element, they are going to display one after the other, like vertically. The profile will go below the home, and then contact will go below profile. So that is it about block and inline level elements. Block level elements takes up the entire space available. They take up the entire width, while inline level elements only take up the space that is required. So we have a lot of block level elements. Like I mentioned earlier, we have the paragraph, we have the div, we have the nav, we have H1 to H6, we have header, we have footer, and some other ones. And for inline level elements, we have the anchor tag, we have the span, and the img tag. The image tag is also an inline level element. Okay, so I hope that wasn't so difficult to understand. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments section. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.